Okay, hi fourth grade class. Today we're going to be looking at time and measuring time. So we're going to be dealing with some problems that deal with intervals of time using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division as appropriate. So we're going to be using both addition and subtraction today to try and figure out the solution to our problem that we have. Now, knowing how to measure time is very important to you, and it's something that you're going to do every day in your life. You'll always need to know when events start or end. You'll need to know different how long is between the start time of an event and the end time. Or say, for example, you have somewhere that you need to leave the house at 5 o'clock to be. You need to leave your house at 5 o'clock, and you want to make sure that you have enough time to watch your favorite movie before you leave. Well, if you know that your favorite movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, then you'll need to know how to figure out what time you need to start your movie so that you'll have enough time to watch it before you have to leave. So there's lots of examples of when you'll need to know how to measure elapsed time. So the problem that we're going to be working with today is, suppose it is 5:45 a.m. You have an important meeting today at 4:30 p.m. How long or how much time do you have until your meeting? So this problem is giving us a start time. So we know that our start time is 5:45 a.m. And the a.m. and p.m. is really important, and we'll get to why it's important to know if you're looking for a.m. or p.m. When we solve the problem. So, and our end time is when our meeting starts is 4:30 p.m. So what we're looking for is the elapsed time, or how much time is between 5:45 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. And I have a couple of different methods of how to solve that problem using the make 60 approach is what we call it. Because when we're counting time or when we're measuring time, we don't regroup in base 10, which is what we normally do when we're adding or subtracting. When you get 10 ones, you regroup it into 110. If you get 10 tens, you regroup it to 100. But with time, it's a little bit different because you use base 60, which means that 60 seconds equals 1 minute, 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So we're going to have to learn how to regroup in base 60 and how to make 60 to figure out how to solve this problem. So the first way I'm going to do it is with a little chart. And we're going to have our hours and our minutes, and then AM or PM, because remember, it's real important to make sure that you know if you're counting AM or PM. And in this section over here, we're going to write down what happens or what we're doing each time. What's happening to our numbers. So our chart's going to look like this. And the first thing that we're going to plug into our chart is our start time. So we said our start time was 5:45 a.m. So we're going to put 5 hours. Make sure we put our little colon, because that's what we do with time. Instead of like a decimal, we use the colon. So 5 hours and 45 minutes. I'm going to say that is a.m. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make 60 minutes so that we can regroup that as an hour. So we want to get to the next hour. So right now we're at 5 hours and 45 minutes, and we know that we need 60 minutes to get to the next hour. So we're going to find the difference between 60 and 45 to see how many minutes we need to add. So I'm just going to do that right down here. 60 minus 45 will give us the difference, and it'll tell us how many minutes we need to add to get to the next hour. And as you see, if we do that subtraction problem, that's 15. So in our what's happening column, I'm going to write add 15 minutes. And that's going to get us to 0 minutes in our minute column. And it'll take this 5, and we're going to regroup those 60 minutes as an hour. So now we're at 6 o'clock. And we're still at AM. So it's now 6 o'clock a.m. So now we're going to see how much time we need to get to 12 p.m. or noon. So if we need to get to 12 p.m. and we're at 6 a.m., we can take 12 minus 6 to see that we need 6 hours to get to 12 p.m. You can see I did that math right here. So we're going to write add 6 hours to our what's happening column. And we will write it is now 12 o'clock p.m. I'm making sure we're doing those colons every time. So it's 12 o'clock p.m. now because we've added our 6 hours. So to get from 12 to 4, we know that looking at a clock, 13 doesn't come after 12. We actually, when we get to 12, we start back over at 1. So we go 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know we need to add 4 more hours to get to 4 o'clock p.m. So I'm going to write add 4 hours, and that'll get us to 4 o'clock p.m. But our finish time wasn't 4 o'clock p.m., it was 4:30. So we know we're going to need to add 30 more minutes. So we're going to add that to our what's happening column, add 30 minutes. And will still be in p.m. because at noon it switched over to p.m. and it won't switch over back to a.m. until we get to 12 o'clock again. So when we get to 12 o'clock, we switch from a.m. to p.m. and now it's staying in p.m. because we haven't gotten back to 12 o'clock. So we're going to add 30 minutes to 4 o'clock p.m. and that's going to give us 4:30 p.m., which is our end time. So we know that right here we can stop because we've gotten to our end time. But remember, we already had our end time and our start time, so what we're actually looking for is all of this that happened to get us from our end time to our start time. So what we need to do now is add up everything in the what's happening column to figure out our elapsed time. So we'll do the minutes first. We have 15 minutes and 30 minutes. So if we do 15 plus 30, we get 45, and we know 45 isn't 60 yet, so we don't have to regroup that into an hour. That's just going to stay 45 minutes. And then we have 6 hours and 4 hours that we want to add. So if we add 6 plus 4, we get 10. So we know that our elapsed time is 10 hours and 45 minutes. So that's how long you have from your 5:45 a.m. start time until your 4:30 p.m. meeting or end time is 10 hours and 45 minutes total elapsed time.